Thank you for browsing page 121. Today we're going to jump into Unearthed Arcana and look at a pretty useful magic item, Bracers of Archery. These are fighter only, and they are worth 1,000 experience points when given out. So I have given these out at very low levels. If I had a player that, for whatever reason, was not enjoying his character because he didn't have any kind of range, but he was proficient with a bow, for instance, but he wasn't just really enjoying the character that much, it's a way for you to take a character in maybe another direction. So Bracers of Archery. These magical wristbands are indistinguishable from normal, non-magical protective wear. When worn by character type or creature able to employ a bow, they enable the wearer to excel at archery. The bracers empower such a wearer to use any bow, not including crossbows, as if he or she were proficient in its use, if you're not already proficient with it. So if you're proficient with a short bow, but you have an opportunity to use a longbow, you are counted as proficient with the longbow. And even if you were not proficient in any kind of bow, you would be able to pick up a bow and use it with these magic items. If the wearer of the bracers has proficiency with any type of bow, then you gain +2 to hit and +1 bonus to damage inflicted whenever that type of bow is used. So again, if I was to pick up the short bow I'm proficient with, I gain a +2 attack, +1 damage. If I pick up a long bow, which I'm not proficient with, I gain proficiency, but that's it. I don't gain the +1, +2, or +2, +1. The bonuses are cumulative with any others, including those already bestowed by a magic bow, magic arrows, except for bonus due to weapon specialization. They don't want you double dipping with weapon specialization. Weapon specialization can be a real game shaper at the table, and it's something that I will often limit. If we're starting up a new campaign, I'll throw out some things. I'll say, no evil characters, no multi-class, and no bow specialists in this particular game. That's not a forever ban. It's just that one game. I don't want any of those headaches in there. I want this to be kind of a more open game. I have players at the table that will often take bow specialists if they're given the opportunity. Multi-class bow specialists, not unheard of at my table. It's something that I do throw limits on. And if a player really feels strongly, my next character, I really wanted to be a bow specialist, I'll allow it. I will talk and we'll figure it out and I'll allow it. But bow specialization, as you know, can get pretty obnoxious pretty fast. This is a nice kind of mid-ground for you. So the Bracers of Archery give you +2 attack, +1 damage. So this is a good thing to give to that starting out fighter who maybe he's a weapon specialist or a sword specialist and he doesn't have any real range, but he takes proficiency with a short bow. Well, this is a good magic item to give him because now that short bow counts as +2 attack, +1 damage. Incidentally, for creatures that are hit by +1 or better weapon, like a gargoyle, I would allow the bracers to act as +2 attack, +1 damage. So they absolutely, if somebody wearing that could take an ordinary bow and an ordinary arrow and cause damage to that gargoyle, at least at my table. The other thing about Bracers of Archery, you have to be careful a little bit with some of these. If you have higher dexterity at your table and you give it to a higher dexterity character, if they're going to get +2 for the bow with just the dexterity, if eventually in your campaign they end up with +3 bow, +3 arrow, and their dexterity, you're looking at +3, +6, +2 for the dexterity is 8, +2 more for the bracers is 10, and your damage is going to be 3 for the bow, 3 for the arrow, 1 for the archery. So it's going to be +7. So you can get into some pretty heavy numbers pretty quick when you're giving out magical bows, magical arrows, or these Bracers of Archery. These are available to any of the subclasses under the fighter, which would count on AD&D, would count as Ranger, Fighter, Ranger, Barbarian, and Paladin. And the Paladin, that would be dependent on the Paladin's ethos and what his cause is and if it would fit with him or not as a player. So that's something that you'd have to use some judgment for. But as I said, this is a fighter-only item. It's worth 1,000 experience points when given out. I have given this out very early in games because it's good and gets the player excited about the character, but not so overwhelming that it's going to shape the game for you. I've also given out +2 attack, +2 damage versions of this just because I think the +2, +1 is a little arbitrary. But you've got to be careful, as I said, because archery stuff can stack pretty quickly, and you can find yourself with a character that's hitting on just about everything. So you really want to be careful of that. But other than that, I consider these a really good magic item to give out anytime. You can give these out all the way up to 10th, 11th level. Players would be happy to get something like this. But that's all I've got to say today on page 121 about Bracers of Archery. Let me know in the comments below if you've given this out, how you've modified it. Maybe there's some ideas out there I can adapt to my campaign. Let me know. Also, please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Tell your friends. Let's keep growing the channel. And take a look at the Patreon, see if there's anything you can do to help me out there. But that's all I've got to say today. I want to thank you for your time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.